I'm excited to see such a warm embrace of Carl Nassib. I think it's the kind of thing that sports journalists who are out like me have been saying for years, that when someone fears coming out because they're afraid they'll lose sponsorship or they won't get supportive teammates or their fans might not embrace them, that it's all fear. This is a great moment. But for me, it's really not the moment to celebrate. You know what is? When the second guy comes out, when he sees that this is something that is going to just be, he's a gay player. He's a player who happens to be gay. And more people who are gay and in the closet across all sports should hopefully see this as a signal that it's okay to come out.
And what's interesting to me is that you have all the women who are out in the WNBA. And I'm curious as to how much that laid the foundation for this guy.
I'd like to think so. One of the problems we have is not just homophobia and transphobia, but it's the age-old problem of sexism. Women's sports aren't seen as real sports. And even though women have been out and playing in sports for decades, we don't get the credit that we deserve for laying that foundation. I think it's because of the acceptance of major leagues in Jason Collins's case, in Michael Sam's case, that hopefully Nassib sees that this is just one part of his life. Being gay is just one part of who he is, and it shouldn't be a distraction, as some people fear. A lot of people fear that being gay would be a distraction, and they use the Michael Sam experience as an example of that. That wasn't Michael Sam's fault. That was the media's fault.
What do you think is next? What do you see as being next?
I'm a baseball fan, so seeing an out MLB player would be the next big step. Maybe the Boston Red Sox, maybe the Mets, maybe the Yankees. The reason this hasn't happened is because a lot of people on the other side of this equation have warned players of what they'll lose. But I'm here to tell you, what they'll gain is their true self, their best self. How could you show up for work knowing that you're not giving everything you've got? That's what being out is all about.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Is there anything that I missed that you want to?
This really isn't a surprise. To those of us who have been covering sports, every athlete who comes out says, wow, I was so afraid. And to a person, they all experience acceptance. And isn't that what we all want in our lives?